All right, we're rolling. Everyone, Max, it's great to see you, man.
Great to see you too. Hey guys, thanks for listening.
Yeah,
Uh,
so it's been, gosh, it's been over a year since we last chatted. Well, I guess in this setting, we
Yes.
recently had a conversation among a few other members of the Twisted Bricks team. But what I guess just a quick catch up for people who don't know, Max has been like contributing to Twisted Bricks for forever, really. I mean, for ages, both with awesome horror animations, voice acting, the whole bit. So Max, I'm curious, what are you up to these days? What kind of, uh, I don't know, where are your creative impulses pulling you?
Are still in two-step motion animation. Not a lot of Lego these days, sadly. I mean now a little bit more because I again can create for Twisted Bricks. Because on my channel, I don't know, is it dead? Last thing I did was Deadpool, the Deadpool dance from Deadpool 3,
Hmm.
frame by frame, because I thought maybe Marvel would get some kind of viewership. It didn't. So
I honestly, when I look at your channel, I'm like, almost, it's like God is suppressing the views. I mean, it's kind of nuts in some cases. I don't understand it.
yeah,
But
I guess there's this big part of luck you need,
hmm.
and I just don't have that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I have a lot of ideas. Like now, I'm working on Lego Berserk for your channel. And I finished my final exam, so my final film for university, stop motion film as well, not Lego with clay figures
Hmm.
called Tear It Down, which is horror adjacent. That's on festival tour now. Fall was very good. We had like a 50-50 percentage on yeses and nos. And no, all the winter festivals don't like the movie. So no, it's just no, we will not show your movie. Sorry
Hmm.
for not including your movie. I hope in spring the festivals, because there are like 60 festivals I still wait to hear from. And sometimes I see a festival, I'm like, hey, why not? Just I reach out to the festival. So maybe, hopefully, from those 60 festivals still waiting, some will show my movie. Um, right
So
now I'm
you've
working on.
submitted it to 60 festivals for
Uh,
the winter, or what was, is that
yeah,
right?
no, all in all, like
All in
all
all.
the
Okay.
I think 80,
Yeah.
80 festivals in
Jeez.
total right now. 20, I know, like seven showed the movie and 13 didn't, and now 60 are still. Some are like in March, and they
Okay.
will notify you in February. That's like, but
Yeah.
the
And
earlier you, yeah.
are these festivals like throughout different parts of Europe, or is it mostly Germany?
It's different parts of Europe. Parts I can attend,
Mm.
like France, Italy, Denmark. I think some are in Spain because with my first movie, Peacemaker, a lot of festivals were in America, and that's
Mm.
great. But I don't have the money to go to America, and again this time. I haven't thought about it, and I just made the movie. And the first few festivals, I was like, you know what? If the festival sounds good, I will apply. And now we have like no German festivals again because I think Germans don't like the stuff I do. I don't know. And from those seven festivals that took the film, like four are American festivals again. And again, I couldn't go there. And
Yeah.
I think my next short film, that is certainly coming someday. Um, I will just save up and then just do American festivals and then go to America over the summer because I don't know, it's a lot of money to apply to festivals. Some are free.
Mm.
I think the prices in America are fair. The prices in Italy are extremely fair. It's like
Mm.
€5 to apply, and you can win like 20,000 euros
Wow.
at some places. And then in Germany, it's like, yeah, €60, and you get a handshake if you win. So a
Jeez.
lot, yeah, and it's like, and then they never tell you why they don't take your movie. Some festivals do, like we have the Fantasy Film Fest
Mm,
in Europe. It's like a big genre festival. It's really cool, and they just show 10 short films, and
mm,
the rest of the films of the festival are long films or real
mm-hmm.
movies. And they answered me, and they were like, "Yeah, we will not include you, but we had like 3,000 films applying, and we
Oh,
only can show 10." And that my movie isn't the best out of 3,000, the best 10. I can see that. I can totally see that
yeah,
because Fantasy Film Fest is a big festival, and there are some really, really experienced filmmakers that just do a short film because they have the time and then they go there. So,
yeah.
but some other festivals like the ChatGPT wrote the mail, like, sorry, you're not in. Thanks for your 80
Mm,
bucks.
mm-hmm. God, yeah, that
Uh,
would be so. I mean, it's more disheartening in some ways than a job application because it's like you're paying money to submit something you made, and then it's just like, well, we'll take
yeah.
your money, but we're not going to take your film.
Yeah. And I mean it's luck.
Yeah.
Just like Peacemaker is on Amazon Prime. If somebody wants to
Heck
see
yeah, dude.
six 5 out of 10 Western I made in the third semester.
Yeah,
It's
and
an okay movie.
a live action Western. I mean, it's really
Yes.
impressive, like how you pulled that together. And we kind of talked about that and your experience of making that and almost dying on the set
Yes.
in a
Last time.
previous interview. But you got you got cut. Was it on your leg?
On my leg, yeah, I cut
Yeah.
myself on the leg
Oh.
because I'm a stupid motherfucker. Yeah. Sorry for swearing, but
It's all right. We'll just throw in
sometimes.
like a little funny censor thing. Um,
Sometimes I lay in bed, and I haven't thought about this scenario in a while, and then it comes to my mind. I nearly died.
yeah.
Oh, I was
Well,
like,
how does
oh,
that make
why,
you
why?
feel? Like, what does that do when you think I nearly died?
Like, not the, oh, not to get. It's not like not. It's not the dying part. Just like the whole situation's like, how in all seven hells did I thought this will work out?
Yeah.
Like, but it's the stress. You have like 1,000 things to do. You are you're leading this big project. No studios attached, and then you just get blind for danger.
Yeah.
And now with all the things I learned and with a lot of space between it, it's like when you're on a roller coaster and before you go down, this when your stomach drops. That's the short feeling when I think about the situation again, like, ooh.
Wow. That's
Because
it's hardcore. Can you just like briefly remind us like how you got cut on the leg, like for those who
we
maybe haven't heard?
yeah, we planned a stunt. This stunt coordinator got corona, so he wasn't there.
Mm,
And I'm like, okay, we can still do this. I know every step. And then a guy from the crew came and like, hey man, I made I have a thought. If you punch a body with a knife, if you it's not punching, you know what I mean? Um, the body has resistance, so we can't use the thing we planned. I got this pillow. We just put a condom with blood on it,
mm,
and then the costume over it, and then just
mm,
we just stabbed the pillow. And I was like, yeah, sure. I don't care because I had like 10 other things, and then we had lunch break and came back, and this pillow with a condom on it was taped around a tree, and the actress stood there with a knife that was as long as my arm,
mm-hmm.
and I was like, no, we're not doing this like this. Just give me the knife for a second. I want to try it. And I stood and I stabbed, and the knife did this, and
Oh
I cut my leg.
God. Yeah.
Uh,
Ricochet.
yeah, because there was this is it called a spiral? This metallic in all pillows, not like pillows for bed, but sofa
Oh,
pillows.
yeah, like a spring.
Yeah, like yeah, a spring, and
Spring. Yeah.
I hit a spring in the pillow and then the
Yeah.
knife, and now I
Jeez.
know a body has no resistance. It's a sharp
Yeah.
knife. I did not notice the cut. It didn't hurt. I was like, oh my God, I got so lucky, and then my pants split
Dude.
open and there was blood everywhere. And I was like, oh, I
Wow.
wasn't lucky. Okay, I cut myself.
No. High
And it was a
quality
deep
knife.
cut,
Yeah.
like 2 centimeters deep. And yeah, we were in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool. Am I bleeding out? Is it the
Yeah.
artery? It wasn't the artery.
No.
But for a moment, nobody knew what was going to happen. And I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it.
No, I
If
mean,
you,
the
uh,
knife slides into the wrong place too. You're in a very dire situation.
yeah. And it's not like the knife didn't, I didn't stab myself and then pull the knife out. It was like this, like,
Yeah.
because never pull the knife out if you get stabbed.
Yeah.
That's first advice. And the second advice for every filmmaker out there, if you have a stunt planned and the coordinator gets sick, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Just reschedule.
Yeah.
Trust,
You know,
trust me.
that's the um I was just listening to this interview with Mike Rowe. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's on
Hmm.
Dirty Jobs.
Yeah.
He was like a host, and he was like talking about how, in the filming of that show, they took safety very seriously in the beginning, and they would have safety meetings and all this stuff. And eventually, like, accidents started happening more and more on the set, despite them still having these safety meetings.
Mm.
And the way he described it is like, eventually it's like you it became like what did he say? Like the like Charlie Brown, the parents want.
Oh yeah.
You just tune stuff out because you're like, yeah, I've heard this. And so like the people managing the safety are suddenly like they care more for your safety than you do. You're just like, yeah, let's just do the thing.
Yeah, and then
Um
it
and
happens.
I'm not saying that's necessarily what happened to you, but like I mean I've worked jobs that had like the most boring safety meetings ever, but I mean, the purpose is still to save your life, as boring as it
Yeah.
feels when you're totally safe. To
That
hear that.
yeah, totally. There were two sentences, I remember them forever. My cameraman, I took the knife from the actress and I stood in front of the pillar. My cameraman was like, Max, I think that's dangerous. And I was like, that's why I'm trying it first.
Oh my God.
Like, like he meant the actress, but he meant the thing in general. And
Yeah,
he was right, of course.
yeah.
And after like 3 weeks, we shot the shot with the knife with the stunt coordinator and special effects guy, and it went perfectly. I think if we would have done it like we planned it in the first place, because we did it
Hmm.
then, um, nobody would got hurt
Yeah,
that
yeah.
day. But sometimes,
Yeah, and even I mean, people die on film sets. Like
yeah,
as anybody who works in the film industry or anybody knows, there are horror stories of even like
yeah,
famous actors who have died on film sets. So it's like even it's stuff happens, as they say.
yeah.
But you always got to try to be careful.
That's true.
Um,
That's true.
I'm curious. I can't remember, in some way, my memory isn't very good, and I can't remember all the details of our previous conversations. Uh, so you made Peacemaker. How many people were involved in that project? Because that was like a major project.
A lot. I think then Corona came. That was another thing. I should have. I mean, the movie we finished it. It's 60 minutes. It should have been 90 minutes.
Mm,
Um, Amazon still wanted it, but it's not the movie we wrote, and it's not a good
mm,
movie. It's not a bad movie. It's an okay movie.
hmm.
Have you seen it?
I haven't, dude. Actually, I I didn't know it was on Amazon, so I need to.
Okay.
But I'm
I
eager to
will
see
send
it.
you the link. I will send you the
Please
link.
do.
It's 60 minutes. It's just okay, but I say this now on the internet like, ooh, we did mistakes, but a few things were out of our control, and like Corona, like the virus hit, and because we shot the first, not the first, not the last, we shot the ending first, so the last 15 minutes are tight as hell.
Mm. Oh yeah.
And because that was in September 2019, and we had like 50 people crew behind the camera, and that's the whole part that will that takes place in the city. There's this little western town
Mm,
called River Row, and the final happens there. And it was a night shooting. We had a lot of guys that do LARP, like Western LARP is a big thing in Germany, and they came and they
mm,
were like, "Yeah, of course we will be there a week." And we just play pretend and cowboy. You just feed us, and then we will be there when you shoot. It was
Hmm.
amazing. Was a good deal. And then winter came, and we were like, okay, we will shoot in March, April. We will start shooting the rest. It's just in the forest. The whole crew was like, yeah, yeah, we'll do this. And then March 2020, everybody will remember first Corona,
Yeah.
first in China, then in Europe, and we were like, yeah, it's so far away. And like 2 days before shooting started, we went into lockdown in Germany,
God.
and a lot of people, like location givers and stuff, they were like, we can't give you your money back. It's like we never dealt with that before. We're sorry you can't shoot, but you're not getting back your money. And like it would like 10,000 euros just gone.
Wow.
And then we had like this meeting, and it was like, yeah, do we pull through and just try again next year and try to get money, or is it over? And I was like, no, we're doing this. And the whole year 2020, I did a crowdfunding campaign. I talked with different sponsors, and I recouped the 10,000 euros
Wow.
with their money and my money, because every cent I did not use for a living, I put in the movie then.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't gotten that money back though. It's
No.
not like we made a lot of money with Peacemaker yet. And there were other things. It was we were unlucky with the film. Was unlucky. Some people say it's cursed. It's really funny, the Peacemaker curse, because Amazon just was like, hey, yeah, we want that, and then yeah, it's internationally. And then if Amazon publishes your movie, they will for 3 weeks like do commercials for it. They will like be the algorithm will be like, hey, there's a
Mm.
new Western. You like Westerns. And for some reason, the first 3 weeks, it was only available in Germany and
Mm.
not in the rest of the world because somebody did a mistake. And we were
Hmm.
trying to fix that. And our agent from Amazon tried to fix that. And it took like 5 weeks. So the algorithm push for Peacemaker was over. So nobody in other
Mm.
countries saw it.
Yeah.
And so Germany, a lot of people watched it, and none in America, none in France, none everywhere.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just like the last thing of the curse, because I think internationally maybe it would have made a little bit of money,
Yeah.
but in Germany it's not a lot of money. If 10,000 people watch it in a year in Germany, which is a high number for this little movie, I guess, it's not a lot of money.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And did you do um like streaming on Amazon Prime or where like you rent it or
No, you can rent it, but it's Amazon Prime. So if you have Prime, you can watch it. It's a Prime, not the Prime original, but
yeah.
it's in Prime included. And but if you don't have Amazon, you still can rent the movie for
Yeah.
like $4 or something. And yeah, but to circle back, Corona happened 1 year, and then in 2021 we shot the rest of the movie between two lockdowns with like a lot of rules put upon us. We couldn't be more than 16 people on
Mm.
set, including the actors. So from 50 people behind the camera, we went to like 10 people behind the camera.
Yeah.
We needed to break it all down. We shot available light, which is a great thing if you know what you're doing. I had the privilege to work with Tilo Kokosinski. It's a great cameraman.
Mm.
He shot beautiful pictures. We did a lot of things planning out, looking where's the sun when and stuff. But I think the movie got smaller. We needed
Mm.
to rewrite a lot of things, and then the actor we had for Richard got corona too again, and not again, but like another. A lot of people got corona in 2021, and he was out for the project, and we did not find the same type of actor again, and we needed to rewrite that because normally Richard would have been a black man that
Mm.
is a lawman in those times, but trying to find another person of color that is native English speaker in his 60s in Germany in a day
Yeah.
is not possible. So we
No.
just took a really great actor. Nevin did a fine job, not a fine job, he did an amazing job. He came a night before shooting started. He learned his text
Jeez.
the day before, and then yeah, but again, another part of the movie we planned just crumbled, and the 30 minutes that are cut from the movie, we have a taking place in a church,
Mm,
and we needed to find a church that wasn't modernized, like an
mm,
old building,
yeah.
and we had one, and we had in 2021 we had a lot of rain, and I don't know the English word for it, but I will Google the word. Give me just a minute because I don't know how to describe it with my
Interesting.
and to think I'm a good English speaker. That's amazing.
Trying to think of problems that rain could cause.
A flood. It's so easy,
Oh,
but if you speak two languages, you forget words in every language. If I speak need to speak German, I'm like, what's the word?
yeah.
Behavior. It's yeah. It caused a flood in
Yeah.
the Ahrtal. It was a big
Jeez.
catastrophe in Germany, and the cloister was gone. The monarchy was gone. The church was just flooded away.
No way. The
Yeah,
entire church was gone.
yeah. Everything in the Ahrtal was gone. Everything was destroyed. Houses, everything. It
God, dude,
was
I can see why people say the film was cursed. I mean, it's truly unbelievable. But it is amazing. I mean, I just like can't express my admiration enough. Like you made in Germany, you made a Western period piece, facing all these challenges, a live action project with tons of people, and you just kept going. Yeah, it's really, I mean, you should be proud, and I'm sure I can't even imagine how much you learned, both in like very tangible lessons, but also in just like what a catalyst for learning, just like I don't know, maybe softer skills like perseverance, how to communicate with people, how to problem solve. Like I do stop motion. You have such creative control. You're in the safety, there's no floods in this apartment.
yeah.
At least not yet.
Hopefully.
Yeah, the sink is working. The plumbing is good. Um,
That very nice.
but it's really cool, a lot of people like there's a lot, I think a lot of people dream of doing something like that, but they never take the leap, they never take the risk. And am curious. Um, and we could get back to stop motion soon, I guess. But did like a lot of the crew you had, the cast, the crew, I mean, using the like live action role playing guys, that's brilliant. Like, because of course they're probably pumped to be on camera doing what they love. Um, but did you have a lot of budget or I don't know, did you pay your cast and crew? Were you able to, or was it a lot of people who were kind of pitching in to make something happen with belief in the project?
The second one.
Yeah.
If we had one a sponsor that gave like 10,000 euros, and I was like, okay, this is everyone will get a cut from those 10,000. It will not be much, and nobody had any costs
Hmm.
but me or the sponsors. So if you were part of the project and you were like working for me for the week, you had the place to sleep, you had dinner, and what you needed. If you were like, I'm only drinking like a strawberry energy drink that is only sold in Uganda, I would get it for you,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. But and that worked out good. And the thing is, it was for our university. So
That's
the
right.
crew was students because they got credit points for the project. So that was just like a way to pay it.
Hmm.
Some because you need credit points and you need to do a project every year. You need to do more than one project every year, of course. But then if you do your own project and you need to do like 5 or 6 projects where you just help for a few days, and then you go to like projects you think you can learn something or projects that are too crazy to not have a look at. And I think Peacemaker was a project everybody thought that's just crazy to do Western in Germany, and so a lot of people wanted to do that.
Mm.
With the actors that played the main roles, they were proper actors, good actors,
Yeah.
not like big actors, but Ferdi, the main character playing William. I know this man for like 7 years now. We met at a commercial for a radio station in Germany, and now he's like Vapo Elba is it's a criminal show. Criminal shows are really big in Germany. It's one of the
Hmm.
biggest things we do, and he's now the main character. It's in season 3 of his
Wow.
own show. He's one of the main cast with 3 other people. It's in Germany. It's always like the station. It's like CIS it's not too big. It's like that kind of show. You know, you have
Oh
this
yeah, yeah.
investigator team, and they investigate a case
Yeah.
every episode. And so now he's a bigger deal, and he never did a 90-minute movie. And you don't do westerns in Germany, and I think that was also a selling point because now everyone that took part in that project can say, I did a Western. I
Yeah.
played in a Western. And now they can say, and that's where I think we still got a little bit of luck. Amazon saw the movie. And now we
Yeah.
can just say it's on Amazon because most student projects end up on YouTube, which is totally fine. But in the industry, I can put my movie on YouTube, but I can't just put my movie up on a streaming platform.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm definitely going to show maybe a clip of the trailer over our faces while this
yes,
podcast is
please,
going, and
please,
definitely
please.
like post the link in the description so people read the description,
Thank
check
you.
out Peacemaker. Um because I'm excited. I remember when we were last time we were talking about it, I think maybe it was like running the film festival circuit or you were like working with that, so it wasn't like public yet, but
Yeah,
obviously a
yeah.
lot of time has elapsed since then.
Like
So
2 years?
yeah, I think so. I
I
mean,
had a beard then. I know that.
yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Like,
Longer hair too.
yeah, longer hair too. Yeah.
But can you tell me about your current or the stop motion project that you just finished? What was it called again?
Tearing it down.
Tear it down. Yeah, can you give us a little bit of a sense of like what that is? You said it's horror adjacent. Is it kind of an abstract thing? Because I know you can get a little abstract.
Yeah, I know it's. Um, I don't know. What you said with stop motion is a safe space. I think that's what I took after Peacemaker. I was like, even now, I'm too scared to do a real
Yeah.
life project again. You know, it's not that I don't want to. I'm just so scared it will be another Peacemaker, and I hope I will overcome this. But for now, it's like I'm in my little basement and I'm doing these little
Yeah.
animations, and no one can hurt me. And
There's no knives. The knives are all locked
yeah,
up in the cabinets.
all the knives are this big, so I can't
Yeah.
get that hurt. And I mean, I love animation because if you need a dragon, I build a dragon. Right now, I'm working on this great music video for The Collective. It's a hip hop duo. They are great. Just a little shout out on this thing. And they just wrote me on Instagram and they were like, yeah, we have this idea and we want there's a wrapping flower and then there are astronauts that destroy the flower. And because they destroy the flower, they get turned into knights and the flower transforms into a dragon and then they fight the dragon. And that's their
I
idea
love
for the
it.
music video. I love it too. And I'm now, right now I'm at the, I'm animating the flower but I will animate the whole thing. And to think to put that into live action I mean, it doesn't have the same charm as animation, but I just built a dragon thing, demon dragon thing,
Yeah.
and endless possibilities. If you have the
Yeah.
space, I think the only thing where the possibilities are more endless is 2D animation.
Yes.
Of course, you need a lot of skill. I don't say it's easy. I say if I want to just if I want to have a big city, I need to have space to build it in stop motion, but if I want to draw a big city, I just need to be able to draw a big city.
Yeah.
And not just because it's easy from the uh, producer standpoint.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a Tear It Down is about a group of children, and one day a big creature just shows up and takes those children and forces them to climb a big wall and if they fall down, they die. And we follow the protagonist that falls down and is thought dead but didn't die, and finds the power to destroy the wall just to find a world full of walls,
Huh.
and then goes searching for the other kids. And it's horror adjacent because it's more like a fairy tale. And then there are horror elements. It's not
Yeah.
horror the whole way through, but it has a few you know what? I will send you the trailer as well. It's not out yet,
Yeah.
because I wanted to wait with the trailer until Turn It Down is somewhere on a festival where you can watch it online. But I
Mm,
will send you the trailer, and
please.
you gladly you can put it in if you want.
Great, great.
Just
I actually now that you described it, I remember seeing a clip for this. I think you must have posted something, some kind of teaser or something,
yep, a
maybe
few
on
things I
Instagram. Yeah.
posted on Instagram, or did I post something on YouTube? But when we were in sound design, there's a the monster reveal, and the funny thing is, when we voiced it, it is like seven people and then a pig screaming and a cat screaming and a wapiti screaming,
Mm.
and it's all mixed together. And I know the actors that voices the monster um screamed, and then I screamed, and then a friend of mine screamed, and then
Nice.
like the sound guy was like because I need the sound. And we were in the studio, and they were like, okay, that's what it sounds now. And it was like it sounds great. And I just took the little video and posted it on Instagram, and I think that could be one thing you saw.
Yeah, that's so cool, dude. So the monster scream is like combined or some kind of combination of all of your screams or
Yeah, all of our
yeah.
screams, a pig screaming and a cat and a
Yeah.
wapiti.
I may have
Like,
to I may have to consult with you for the I really want to upgrade the sound design of the slag
yeah,
in the Hunger of Slag, the Void War sequel. And so I may have to consult with you because, I use a lot of like sound effects that I buy, but it's
yeah,
cooler if you can like really design it, especially since the slag is going to be this like evolved form. Um,
yep, gladly, gladly.
awesome. But I gotta say,
That's
dude,
what
I
huh?
got chills when you described just there's one sentence you said it was a child the child like destroys the wall to discover a world full of walls and then just is like okay we'll try to rescue kids or the whatever but I'm like that's a pretty potent image right there and like
Thank you.
there's something really profound about just like the mess I don't know. I mean it's so easy to connect to in a way. Like as a kid you have this belief that everything is going to be all right at this or like things are going to be okay and then it's kind of like well no things are always going to go wrong and
Yeah.
catastrophe is inevitable. Um so but you just have to keep you got to find your way in that inevitable catastrophe.
Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. You hit a nail there.
Nice.
I was like the for me it's like life is like climbing walls all the time. And once you just you climb one and there's another one. And I think the that's what the movie for me is about. And it's a matter. It's matter as matter can be. Like it's all in the subtext. There's
Hmm.
no word, not one word spoken. And in the end, I think I was like too subtexty. I could have been a little bit more explanatory in the end.
Yeah.
But that's always the thing you when you finish the movie, you're like, I could have done such things if I
Yeah.
thought about it. And but for me, it's like I have a lot of friends and myself sometimes, and in this whole society we live in, a lot of us are climbing alone
Hmm.
because society also says you need to do this on your own. But if we would all help each other, maybe the walls wouldn't be so high.
Yeah, it's
But we don't
beautiful,
learn
man.
this lesson.
You described going from making Peacemaker to like stop motion, and
Yeah.
like, okay, let's go back to, what we know, what's controllable. But do you see yourself going back to like or like attempting something like Peacemaker at some point again?
I really want to, but for me right now, Peacemaker, we didn't got even with it. Not just the costs of it, but the amount of work we put in and the success we had, and everything that I mean that's the game.
Yeah.
Um, but it didn't pan out. Even Amazon, even though it's on Amazon, and if I'm a no name in the business in
Mm.
Germany as well, and when I go to like a meeting for filmmakers, and they're like casters or big producers and stuff. And not all of them, but some are like when you're like, "Hey, I just wanted to speak to you because I know you have money and you are producing good movies, and I think I have good ideas." They're like, "Yeah, and what did you ever do?" And you're like, okay. And then I can say, well, I have one movie on Amazon, and again, as soon as I say it, they're like, oh, that's interesting, and their whole demeanor changes to a more
Yeah.
friendly, not so defensive, because of course everybody goes on that kind of event. I mean, they are there for ideas, but everybody runs to them and like, I have a good idea. And so they need to be defended, but some are dicks about it. And when I say
Mhm.
Amazon, they're not that kind of a dick again anymore.
Yeah, dude, it is. I will say it's been fascinating in my experience too. Both of us worked on films for a long time and sunk a lot of resources into these
Yeah,
projects. And in some ways, I mean, I have, you know, Gray Horizons has not made me a lot of money. Like and I'm okay with that. Uh, and I'm grateful for like I do get some income on Patreon, which helps out. And I guess
yeah,
that's, directly connected to the film. But in some ways it feels like we paid a steep price in order to be able to say something very important. And it's similar things for us. For me, I do notice it makes a difference when I like there's a real qualitative difference in the response you get between I make YouTube videos or I made a movie and I put it on YouTube, and yeah, I premiered it at a theater and it's on Amazon Prime. Like, I
yeah,
mean, like you said, there's a shift in the perception. They're like, okay, you did something. You really went through. Because that's, we are now in a very small, not to like put ourselves on a pedestal, but it's a small number of people who reach that point. And it
yeah,
shows that you're willing to see a project through to the end. And like you said, it's a very, like, especially in your case, like you paid with blood. But
yeah,
but it's, we're so young, and like you think about like all the greatest directors, and they all have gray hair and beards, and they're not,
yeah.
very few of them are like younger than 40. And we have
That's
a long
true.
ways to go before we are even there. So, but I do experience, and I want to hear, I'm sure we could go back and forth on this. And I'm sure a lot of people in our audience who do creative, a lot of creative people I know, there's such there's such a frustration. I experience such a frustration in the gradual accumulation of skills and micro skills. Like, I want to know how to do all this stuff. I want to like be able to like model and animate professionally on like Blender and 3D, and I want to like know all the programs. Um, but it's like it's such a gradual process, and we're constantly bombarded with people's like masterworks on social media and film and media. But it's so easy to forget that everybody has to go through that gradual refining learning process.
Yeah, true. I forget that every time.
Yeah.
And I have so many great colleagues, and whenever they are have a success, one part of me is so proud of them and so grateful. But there's this little voice, and there's like, and it's not you again.
Hmm.
And it's not it's jealousy, but it's not jealousy in the part of they don't deserve that, I deserve that. It's more like a part of, okay, they totally deserve that, but maybe I don't, and that's why it's not happening to me.
Hmm.
And that's I'm my worst enemy.
Yeah.
That's
It it's such a we put ourselves in such traps, like this whole the question of deserving. Like, did they deserve that? Well, what do I deserve? And it's
yeah,
I think of certain like you like brick filmers on YouTube who are like 16 or 20 years old who just have immense success, like
yeah,
a few in particular, like maybe they make short silly like memes, and they just have massive success. And a part of me is like wants to be like, I'm telling a story, I'm a I'm a storyteller and an artist, and I won't sacrifice, I won't trade off. But of course, that they obviously everybody gets something out of what they do.
of course,
And
yeah,
you can't you have to let go of resentment for choosing your path, because there's like there's that like little tinny voice that's telling you, um you got to make money, you got to do that, you got to capture
yeah,
views, you got to do the thing. But I think there's a deeper voice that provides, I don't know, a sense of direction that's much more authentic and that's much more far-sighted or
Hmm.
long-sighted, you know? And that's the voice that's worth listening to.
That's true. That's true what's spoken there. And one thing nobody I forget it sometimes, but what you see on social media, that's the finished film of the people's lives. You don't see the B-roll, you don't see the making of.
Mm-mm.
You just see the perfect movie they made. Just see the successes. Nobody posts a failure. I would never post like out of the 20 festivals that answered me, like 13 were like, no, fuck off. I would
Yeah,
never do that. I
yeah.
just posted the seven festivals that took me. And I won't say names, I won't say the movie because I don't know how comfortable they would be with that. But there's a movie, I think it's a great one from a university, and I only saw the successes. And they now they have a good festival run, and they get invited to big festivals in Germany. And I was jealous. I was like, okay, it's a great movie, but my movie it's not bad. Why not me?
Hmm.
And then I heard like a few weeks ago, 2 years. The movie is older than mine. For 2 years, no one showed that movie.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden, one theater showed it, or one festival showed it, and one curator was like, "It's the best movie ever made." Not that, but you know what I mean. And then festivals that didn't take them when they what's it called, applied. They reached out again and were like, "Hey, do you wanna maybe give us your movie this year?"
Mm.
And it's just like, okay, I just saw the finished movie, the not all the hardship they had to endure 2 years ago, 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's such a good lesson to remember. Um, and there is something like it's great to get lucky and to like uh what do they say, strike gold like early on or right
Yeah.
away. In many ways, I acknowledge, I feel like I got very lucky with the original Lego Zombie Apocalypse series. And in some ways, sometimes I feel like I'm just coasting off of the virality and success of that original first season because it was the right show for the right time with the right algorithm, and it worked out. And I think like again, I'm very I'm happy to be where I'm at and I'm happy I'm making what I'm making. But in this world of like social media and hyper competitive, everybody wants to be an influencer, everybody wants to
Mm.
be an artist. I feel like we most of us have to ask ourselves, okay, um, what's in some ways like you have to design, in my view, a worst case scenario. And worst that doesn't feel like the right like language for it, but I picture myself um like my worst case scenario, I keep making what I'm making forever. I never stop learning. I never stop growing. I never stop telling stories. I just use the spare time I have to do this thing that I love creatively. And nobody watches it. I never get rich from it. It never
Hmm.
explodes. I never make a living off it. Like you could call that my worst case scenario. But even in that scenario, you know, let's say 30, 40 years from now, like what will I have created? Like what will be out there in the universe that I made? Who will have been involved? How will people have been inspired? Um, because like that's significant. Like given enough time, you can truly like become masterful at things and make incredible art, regardless of who sees it. And really, it is about, it's great to make a living off of stuff like this, but just to create it, I mean, that's the purpose is to make something.
That is so true. Wise words. And I think to the first part, I think the first season is great. I think the second season is great. I just love medieval stuff, and I don't know. I mean, the algorithm is I don't know. It's not all, but internet is so. One day you need to post like a 1 second clip, and the other day everybody listens to 2 hour clips on YouTube,
Yeah.
and everything under 2 hours. The algorithm don't give a shit, and And I mean I paint with the darkest color I have right now because it's not that extreme. But sometimes that's the case. The rules change every day. You can, and that's totally legitimate. That, but you can make a science out of it, and
Hmm.
you could I could put days into studying the algorithm and trends, and but then I don't have time to create
Yeah.
something from these trends. Um, so I just create what I think is funny, and hopefully someday, or what is great, as you do with the Void Roar, and and that's the thing. It worked once with the first season Lego Zombie Apocalypse, so you will. I'm completely convinced that you will strike gold again. And I think one good example for that is VPLO Studio.
Oh yeah.
Um, he did a zombie series, and like 2013 till I don't know. No, he just does it. He says there will be a new episode, but I think it's not a priority anymore.
Mm.
And then his channel went not nowhere, but how to stagnated a little bit.
Mm.
And then he started to do follow-up builds, just mocks, and now he went
Yeah.
up again. Like, does he have 1 million subscribers on TikTok? I don't know, but
Yeah.
with that kind of, and no stop motion is a little bit more on the backseat on the channel, which I think is not bad, but he's a good animator, and I hope he does a little bit more animation in the future. But I like his building stuff, and he was on Lego Masters in
Yeah.
Sweden and stuff, or Norway. I can't remember which country, but he struck gold again. And I think as long as you do something you love, what you said, the process is the thing. And when I created the Lego Deadpool thing, it was like a month, not a month. I really pushed through that, like 2 weeks, because I saw the movie. I thought it was funny. I downloaded the song. I went to see the movie again just to make notes
Mm.
when what I had this little book, and I was like, okay, that's a total shot, and that's like a close on Deadpool. He does a
Mm.
salt, he spins around, he kicks someone in his nuts, blah, 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 just to have the shots because I don't want it to film and rip it off.
Hmm.
And then I recreated the this first scene out of the movie in like 2 weeks. But in these 2 weeks, even though some on Sunday was like 12-hour animation day, I never felt anxiety. I never felt bad. But as soon as I uploaded it and it had
Mm.
like 3 views after a day, I was like, I hate it. I hate
Yeah.
everything about this. And a lot of times I'm like, okay, well, I have a weird idea and I will just create it for myself. And that's the plan. And then I create it, it's finished, and it's cool. And then I think, yeah, well, maybe I post it. And I always regret posting it.
Yeah.
But but when I
Dang.
not post it, and when I'm like, no, you regret it every time, and then I do not post it, a week goes by, and I'm just thinking about posting it, and why do not? And there's this drive to share my creation with people, and I wish if I could just be, I will create art, and I will not show it to anyone, and I would be happy with that. I would just do the creating part because that is the thing that gives me life force.
Dude, that makes me, you know, why do we create things? Like, I feel like we create things because there's something inside of us and we
Mm,
want it to be expressed in reality, in this
true.
world of physical experience in some way. And so, just that alone, it kind of shows that we want the thing inside of us to be expressed and in some way seen by the world, by reality itself. And, of course, that extends to other people's eyes, when
Yeah.
and you think about who we are. Like, um, do you know Alfred Adler, the psychologist? Have you heard of
No.
him? He
No.
uh he's fascinating. He was like one of the contemporaries of Carl Jung and like Freud, but he
Mm-hmm.
was like he didn't write nearly as much. I think he like mostly lectured, but he talks about how we're all he says all problems are interpersonal problems. Like basically he says everything is about relationships. We know ourselves through what our relationships are to others. And in many ways you can extend that to the art we make. Like we can when we see the art we make through the eyes of others, it
Yeah.
changes our relationship to it. or it
Ah,
informs it at least.
yeah.
You know, and so I can understand why like your mind would fixate on like after not posting it, your mind would be like, I need somebody to see this. Like it can't just be me. Um, yeah.
Yeah. But
But
if I could just cancel that feeling, I would.
yeah, totally. It would be a fascinating, maybe even therapeutic process to like create something beautiful and then destroy it before anyone sees it. Like throw it into
Yeah.
a fire and like and just sit with that and be and just I don't know. I've never done anything like that. It sounds horrible, but maybe there's some
Yeah,
value
it
there.
does. I never thought about it.
Yeah.
Just doing it this, but just maybe just keep it. Right now I did for the set design for the music video. I did this little rock sculptures, just like old statues that. Wait, I get one. If I wait,
Yes,
just
please.
entertain the audience.
Yes. What's up, everyone? This is my mug. I like it a lot.
They and
Oh
just
yeah,
like and they're like in the background and sometimes in the foreground.
it's so cute.
I mounted them on the on wooden plates just so I can move them anywhere. Have 12 of them, and now I'm just like, what do I do with those
Yeah,
when I'm finished animating? And I'm just like, do I give them away? Would anybody be like, oh, that's cool?
yeah,
If that was a present, or were like, what do you want with that?
yeah,
And again, it's like this urge to put it out there.
yeah,
But why can't I be like, I have 13 or 12 cool little stone guys, and I just put them in my kitchen, and there
yeah,
they're living now. I can't do
yeah.
that. I just can't.
Yeah, it is funny. There is some. I think we're on. I think we're on to something, man. Um, like if you can, I mean, it's so hard to to maybe it's because we're like, animals in at our core in a sense, and we have this desire to for like above all safety and security and love. Like, I mean, literally
Mm,
that's like tippy top priorities is safety, security, love, I mean,
true.
food. And like so in some ways, so much of what we do relates to that and status. So our art becomes in some ways corrupted by those desires, those profoundly strong desires to be safe, secure, and loved. And
Yeah.
the art becomes a means of becoming safe, secure, and loved. But maybe we can like find a way to shift internally the driving force of the creation, like
Mm,
um maybe we can shift our relationship to it where it's just the process of learning, the pain of learning and trying and failing itself has meaning. And I know I feel like I talk about this a lot. Maybe I don't. But there's, it's got to be possible. I believe it's possible to change your relationship with the art you make. Um,
yeah.
and I think it might be necessary if you
Yes,
want to
it
do it your
might.
whole
Yeah.
life, because otherwise you'll just get filled with resentment about like why, it's not successful enough. It's not this, it's
Yeah.
not that.
That you're totally right there. I think, and no, maybe it's us humans. We have a toxic relationship to everything. I don't know if it's in our nature, but like love, or friendship, everything is there. Everything is communication. We never learn to communicate. Most people, when they have a little problem, they just it's not that big, and then they wait until it's the biggest deal ever because they waited 2 years, and then it's not repairable, and then relationships break. But if you with like time passing by, you think about that, why you lost a friend, why you lost a girlfriend, you're like, why
Hmm.
didn't I just talk a year before that when I first thought, I don't like that. I don't like the thing that evolved there. But we
Yeah.
never do, and we need to learn that because if you love someone, you don't need to be afraid to just talk to them if something bothers you. And I think the same thing with art. If you love something, you're toxic to it. Maybe that's just the human nature. We have to learn to be not be some Freudian assholes.
Yeah. There's something so like um the concept of beginner's mind.
Yeah.
Like it sneaks up on you like how we get so used to our patterns and our way of existing and we have these blind spots to these ways in which we never grew up. We developed some kind of mechanism of relating to people or to ourselves at a very, very young age, like 2 years
Yeah.
old, and it worked for us. And then we just clung to that mechanism. I found even like with my significant other, like in relating to her, it's like a mirror, reflecting on me and like how in the way I am and the way I relate to others. And I'm like, why do I do this? Why don't I just say what I want or say what say how I feel? Like, why do I have to put it through this filter, this particular filter that I think will protect me? And even in my job, working with like high school students, like, why do I feel like I can't just tell them, like, I am the authority in the room? I shouldn't,
Mm.
I don't need them to like me? And there's like all these
Yeah.
little things that are like, gosh, I kind of, and you don't need to like, I don't think we need to, I don't think we can completely like renovate our personalities, nor do I think we should. But um, do you know what the Enneagram is? Have you heard
No,
of
no, I
that?
don't.
Okay, so I'm not gonna like do a whole Enneagram TED talk right now, but it's the Myers-Briggs personality test.
Hmm.
So the Enneagram it's like a personality map and it describes and it's like I think quite ancient. I think people don't really know where it came from, but it's got 9 basic types, personality types, and it's really fascinating. I highly recommend anybody who likes personality stuff to look into it. Enneagram, Enneagram. And it's it basically describes that everybody has one basic type, and this type develops as a result of your relationship, generally the relationship you had with your mother or your father or both,
Hmm.
um, and or parental figures, whatever. And then we develop these personality kind of this foundational personality, and then everything kind of branches out of that, and we can adopt a healthy person will adopt many aspects and be able to use many aspects of all the personality types, but that always retain a little bit of that foundational type. And I think we can be like that. I'm me and I have my habits and my preferences, but I know that the healthiest version of me isn't restrained by my particular fears of reality in the world.
Totally. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. I can't say anything smart about that. I just agree with you
Yeah,
fully.
I feel like I just sent out a wall of text, and you're like, and the audience is like, okay, Christian, that's great.
No, 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 no. But by me, it's more like I 100% agree with that, and I have nothing to add.
Yeah, yeah, that's all right. You know, I do, let's see. I said I didn't have many questions, but I feel like I had some here. Um, also, just a side note, I commented on it, but I wanted to, it's like, 9 months old now, but I loved your latest THAC entry. The Labyrinth one?
Yeah, the lever as well. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just, that was one that I revisited, and it's so like, I don't know, dude. I feel a kinship with your sense of just abstract horror, like the monsters, the just the freakiness and unpredictability. It's so great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the 24-hour one. I remember that.
Yeah,
It started.
24 hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I, I don't know. I know it started so easy, and I was like, "Oh my
Hmm.
God, I'm flying through this." And then there were a few shots where like this took me 3 hours now, but I need to animate that and that and that, and so a
Yeah.
few the end battle I cut a lot of not a cut in post, but in the
Hmm.
planning I was like, okay, we can't do that. We need to
Yeah.
simplify it because I will never finish this. And yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I remember that. I remember people in the live stream were fond of it too.
I was happy that it had like a happy ending. I'm a big happy ending guy. Like I like when the hero wins. Um you're kind of 50-50 on that, aren't you? Or what would
Yeah,
you say?
I'm more of the break my word type thing.
Break,
I
what's
have
that?
a I don't like I like happy endings, but I love melancholy endings,
Yeah.
you know? Like Berserk, we talked a lot about it.
Oh
And
yeah.
then we don't know if we get a happy ending, but it can't be happy after the eclipse, you know?
God.
And Right now, I'm thinking about doing a web series. Like you did a web series, but I did do a web series with wire figures and clay, not with
Mm.
Lego, and it's called Mimi's Delivery Service.
Hmm.
And it's about a guy that is totally in love with a girl called Mimi that just comes once a year into their town, and they deliver stuff with her uncle. And this is the time of year
Hmm.
where she comes back, and he's like 18, and what he doesn't know is that her uncle and her fight monsters, and that's why they're
Oh
touring
my
through the
God.
country. And he wants to meet with her in the evening, and then he finds out, and he gets cursed. But through the curse, he gets powers, and then he can help
Mm.
fight monsters, and that's the whole series. And in the end, he never has the bravery to tell her what he feels, and just maybe I never will do it, but I really want to do. In the last episode of season one, but in the last episode, he wants to tell her that what he feels, and he gets hit by a bus,
Oh my God.
and she
Is
waits.
this your own idea of a show or
It's
is
my
this?
own idea,
Oh my
and
God, that's
and she
brilliant.
waits in the park. He writes her a WhatsApp text message like, "Can we meet at the park? I really need to tell you something," because he doesn't want to send via text, and then he just gets hit by a bus because he writes the text and sends it and hasn't
Yeah.
watched the street, and she's in the park and like, okay, maybe he's not coming, and just goes, and then the season is over.
God. Does he die?
I don't know yet. I'm because it's like a supernatural show. I thought like about like him dying and being a ghost at the graveyard, and it's like the funeral, and nobody sees him, but the curse, the demon that's inside of him sees him, and then the demon, because they got friends over the first season, tries to reach out to Mimi to tell her like he's still there, you can still save him. But maybe it's like a mini series, 8 episodes, and it ends with him getting run over by a truck and
God,
dying.
dude. That's
Or waking up as a slime, as a little.
yeah, I
And
both hate it and love it. I but it's interesting because you're making me think, there's like quote unquote happy endings. There's sad endings or dark endings. But then there's sort of an alternative where it's too late for a happy ending. Like things are
yeah,
so dark. I mean, you're not getting a happy ending, but the story's not stopping either. So
yeah,
but even in that like in what you described where well maybe he's dead but he's a ghost, there's still like a flicker of hope, and I
yeah,
think even in like a lot of stuff where it's like a a dark ending, it's still like hopeful, like we had it's like it pulls you along that maybe things will work out. God, have you watched The Boys?
yeah.
That's like a prime example of that. Like how are you going to have a happy ending with something like that? It's just
No,
so dark and so depressing, but you still hope that, the bad guys will get what's coming to them.
I think they will, but I mean, are there any good guys left?
Yeah, that's the
Really?
question.
And I mean, what I think is we got a fifth and final season, and there are a few characters that from the boys' side that are
Mm.
set up to die,
Hmm.
and from the villain sides from the seven. And but I think some ha should have died in season four,
Yeah.
because now we get 8 episodes where in every episode important character needs to die,
Yeah.
and
Jeez.
this will not be that's not good pacing. I think the
No.
Deep should have died in the end of season four,
Yeah.
and I think Frenchie should have died. And I love both
Oh yeah.
characters, and it would have
Yeah.
sucked, but they will die. I would predict. I mean, the Deep needs to die, and Frenchie will die.
Yeah.
Um, poor Frenchie, but it will happen. And Butcher needs to die, and
Mhm.
Homelander needs to die, and who I don't know. I won't spoil anything, but I've read the comics, so I know a few fates
Okay.
of all the characters, but a few things they can't do anymore because they retconned it in the series, and they did it
Ooh.
better than the boys,
Hmm.
I think, than the comic. And maybe they will go a totally different route than the final of the comic, with the ending of the characters, with who dies, who doesn't die. But I think a lot. If no one of the boys dies in the final season, that would suck.
Yeah, it would be a little silly. Like it's
Yeah,
like
but
that's
now
yeah.
I think I don't know. I think they will start the first episode with a important character death, and then why don't do it at the final episode of season 4?
Yeah.
I don't know. I love the boys, but I don't have a good feeling about the final season.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot. Well, it seems like a trend where a lot of shows kind of muck it up in the last season. So
Yeah.
hopefully,
Well, I mean, they mucked it up in season 4 because I always thought like, okay, now it's the point, and now
mm,
the Deep gets it, and they don't. They don't
yeah,
kill him. They
it
could
just
have,
keeps going.
and he could have killed the Deep there, and I
Yeah.
think it would have been like something that for her character development because she has like potential problems with her powers, and then she kills the guy who sexually assaulted her, and it
Hmm.
does not help her. You know, it
Yeah.
doesn't relieve anything. He
Yeah.
got what he deserved, and the whole it was cathartic for us, but maybe it's not cathartic for Andy because it is not what she needed
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
point in time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
call me Eric Kripke.
Yeah. I got some notes.
I got some notes, Eric.
Yeah.
No, I love you, Eric. I love Supernatural. I love your short movies. I love Preacher. I love The Boys. And if you ever need someone getting you coffee on your next project, I'm in.
Nice. Well, hopefully he's listened all the way to this point and he's still
Yeah,
on.
our biggest fan.
Yeah.
But I could see Eric Kripke watching Lego Zombie Apocalypse and Twisted Bricks. I
Oh,
can
well, that
really
would be
do.
sweet. Um, well, man, we've been going for about an hour and a half or so. I think
Yeah,
we got to call it. But this has been so great. Love talking to you,
yeah.
dude. I
Thanks for having me again.
I'm gonna probably be in Norway this summer. Maybe we can meet up somehow somewhere in Europe.
Yes, yes,
It's
yes,
got to
please.
happen. We got to make it happen.
Yeah, we gotta
Um,
make it
we
happen.
can do
Yes,
a live podcast or a in-person podcast,
that would be
or
so
that
fun.
would be a ton of
Yeah,
fun. All right, man. Well, you have a great day. Good luck with all your creative projects. Again, everybody, check the links in the description. We're gonna have Peacemaker on Amazon, and gosh, I keep forgetting the stop motion name.
tearing it down.
Tearing it down, tearing it down, tearing it
Yeah.
down. And that's not out yet,
No,
but
it's not out yet. I think it will be out end of next year. But I will send you the trailer, and so you guys who watched it until a certain point will get a sneak peek
yes, yes,
to a little animation I did.
yes. Um, awesome. All right, dude. Well, we'll talk again sometime
Yeah,
and take care.
looking forward to it. You
Yes.
too.
Adios.
Bye.